His journey embracing his blackness despite resistance from many, including his white adoptive parents.
I know my parents loved me, but there were still very problematic things that I went through. I think it was important to show that, no, this can happen in your own home, and how we move forward collectively while addressing the racism that is being perpetuated.
He took cues from his icon, basketball star Allen Iverson, who he said wore his blackness like a suit of armor. And teenage Kaepernick wanted cornrows to match. He's getting what roles, his mom asked?
Oh, your hair's not professional. Oh, you look like a little thug.
Your mom said that to you.
Yeah. And those become spaces where it's like, okay, how do I navigate this situation now? But it also is informed why I have my hair long today.
The grown-up version of Eve wanted to go back in time and give young Colin a lot of hugs. And I was really moved and saddened by the level of kind of self-awareness that he had to develop at a very young age without a lot of guidance.
The former NFL quarterback who once led the 49ers to the Super Bowl was known in high school for his baseball. The pitcher even had major league interest, but he bucked public pressure and followed his heart to the gridiron.
There were a lot more black people in football that I was like, I found some community here.
Do you still want to play football professionally?
Absolutely. I woke up this morning before our events, trained 5-6 days a week. I'm still up at 4:30. I go get my training in. That passion is still there, and the ability is still there.
So Colin Kaepernick has accused his white adoptive parents of problematic upbringing and perpetuating racism. Yeah, this happened. Now, let's just be real. Colin Kaepernick is pushing something, right? And in this instance, he's pushing a graphic novel called Change the Game. And he's pushing it because he wants to sell, make some money. Now, what is Colin Kaepernick famous for? Nope, he's famous for being the black leader of BLM, the kneeling and all that stuff. Now, hey, however you feel about the kneeling or whatever, that's what he's famous for. So now to sell this book, or essentially his life story, it seems like he's trying to throw his white family under the bus. Now, let's hit the nail on the head with this one pretty quickly. He's upset because his white mother and father advised him not to get cornrows. Why? Right? Because it didn't look professional. It may be a barrier to opportunities versus having those doors open to him. Now, it wasn't like they're saying that he can never do it, but understanding you're trying to develop a relationship with, football teams, baseball teams, you want to go into the job market, and cornrows at where you're at this level may not be the best choice because you're trying to get the job, right? When you got the job, if he was like he uses Allen Iverson, for instance. Allen Iverson's got cornrows when he was in the NBA, right? But when he first got to the NBA, he had a shortcut. He was playing the role, right? He was playing the role. He ain't had no cornrows at the beginning. He had a shortcut. Here's a picture of it. See, here's how Allen Iverson looked when he first went into the NBA. A nice, fresh cut, almost no tattoos, because he was trying to get the job. But then when he became a big star, it didn't matter, right? He had proven himself, so now he can wear whatever he wants. Here's him with cornrows, right? A couple of years later. And let's not be ridiculous about this, right? If you are a parent of a child who's going to try to be gainfully employed, right? Let's say his parents weren't white. Let's say they were black, and they said this exact same thing. Would that be problematic? Would that be racism? Matter of fact, I've had this said to me by my own black parents. Hey, you shouldn't wear that because it's gonna make you look like a thug, and you're trying to get a job. Oh, you know what? That makes sense. Thank you.
YouTube. Oh my gosh. I just need to show y'all this. Oh my gosh. Today, right now, I'm gonna be showing my mom that I got braids.
Is that?
No. Papa la kaya rin.
What do you mean?
No, lagi yun. Papa la kaya rin kaya ito ko sa.
What do you mean?
I tell you. You know what the kalakalang sa atin. Upong tayo sa timundo kasi dito na po. No way.
Thank you. Or it happens in white communities too. How many of you white people out there have been told by your parents, maybe you shouldn't wear this, maybe you shouldn't wear this, maybe you should get your hair cut before you go to that job interview, before you go look for that employment, because it makes you more desirable as an employee, right? But since his parents are white and he can use it as some type of race bait, then hey, they're problematic and they're racist. What? I'm going to say it. Black people are concerned when their children get cornrows too. Black people make the same judgments and say the same things. Think about this. If you're a woman out there, you've probably been told by your parents, hey, maybe you should wear the hair this way or that way to look more desirable for employment. But also, even your clothing, right? Let's say you are at home with your parents. And as a woman, you come down with an extremely short skirt and you're going to a job interview. And this job interview is for office work. I think your parents are probably going to say, hey, you sure you want to wear that? That skirt may be too short and maybe you should think about wearing something else because you want to make a good impression. Are your parents now slut-shaming you? No. They're saying that, hey, maybe for this type of thing that you're trying to accomplish, this is not the best idea, right? You don't want to look like you're going to a club. You want to look like you're going to an office. That is what parents do. They try to teach their child how to maneuver in the real world, right? You could say, yeah, nobody's going to care. I can wear my hair whatever way I want, right? But that doesn't mean you're going to get the job. You could do it for yourself. Yeah, great. But you may not be working for someone who thinks that may not fit their business venture. Now, I do understand the point where, hey, maybe you want to change things. True. But as a parent, you try to tell your children how to best take the opportunities that are presented to them and make the most of them. And right now, that sometimes isn't going with cornrows. Allen Iverson didn't even do that. He went in looking just like everyone else. But when you're established, then you can do whatever you want. Now, Kaepernick later said the lack of racial harmony in his home encouraged Kaepernick to find community elsewhere, he said. Right. He chose to pursue a football career instead of a professional baseball career, both of which prospects were equally achievable because there were significantly more black players in the NFL than MLB, he said. So he chose football over baseball because there were more black people in football. And he wanted to play with more black people. He wanted to feel that community. Okay. But it seems like Kaepernick, who is half white, by the way, and half black, it seems like he's obsessed with race and obsessed with racism. And it's weird because I'm also going to say this too. Colin Kaepernick, Meghan Markle, these people who are like half black, who've grown up in all this privilege. Like, he grew up in this great middle-class household. She grew up in a great middle-class household too. They both, I don't think even know what racism is. But they're so desperate to fit into being black that the way they think that they can do this is to scream racism. The royal family's racist for Meghan Markle. Colin Kaepernick, my family's racist, right? And they fail to realize that if they grew up in a black household, they would hear those same things because it's not racism. It's being a parent. So my question to you is, let's remove race out of this situation. And let's say Colin Kaepernick is black and his parents were black. And his parents said the exact same thing to him. Would that be racist and problematic? Of course not. Or let's say his parents were Asian and he's Asian. And he had spiked hair, like my friend from college. I had a friend in college who had spiked hair. His parents flipped out, oh, get rid of that spiked hair. You're never going to find a job. Would his Asian parents be racist against Asian people? Oh, you had your hair in this funny little way. Like, I think people really need to understand that when you see racism everywhere, you're going to find it, even in the places that are not racist. But I want to ask you the question. Do you think I'm being too hard on poor Colin? Or do you think he is being too sensitive where everything is racism? Let me know in the comments section. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I'll see you next time. Peace.